Well, this is my friend Lacey Byrd, my new friend.
Yes.
Lacey and I had the opportunity to meet each other a couple days ago. This was my first time at the Saprea Gala and auction. And there were a lot of cool things happening there. It was a great night to learn about Saprea and all the good work that Saprea does. But there were some auction items, and this auction item was the auction item with heart, because there were other donated items which were great, but Lacey came and she talked about her story and how what Saprea means to her. And so I knew that I wanted this, with me being a little over a month in my job as president of Younique and feeling very driven to using the profits of Younique to continue to support Saprea. I thought, I've got to get this. And I can honestly say we were the most active bidders that night for your painting, and I was so excited that I was the winning bid, and all the profits or all of the donations go to Saprea and supporting the mission. And I guess what attracted me to it is your story. You talking about the actual inspiration behind it and everything that way. Maybe you could talk a little bit about why you painted this and how this relates to your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just attended the Saprea retreat in February, and I was initially introduced to them because I've been on my healing journey for about 8 to 10 years now, and I was really wanting to start giving back specifically to women in prison, and that's how I initially got connected with Saprea, because they were starting a prison program,
Awesome.
which I actually head up. But I had reached out to Cynthia right after the retreat, and we had run into her a few times in the business scene here in Salt Lake. And we talked about my experience at the retreat, and she was talking about the gala coming up, and she knew I'm an artist and asked if I wanted to create something. And the first image that came to my mind, because I mean, it was days after I had gotten back from the retreat, and I met amazing women there. There was about 15 of us at the retreat, but the first image that came to my mind that I wanted to paint was this. And the reason why, many women who have dealt with sexual abuse, dealt with extreme trauma, especially growing up, there's this common thread of, for the longest time, I didn't even have memories of my childhood, let alone positive memories. I couldn't look back and remember, that vibrant playing and feeling like a child, because when you go through traumatic experiences, a lot of the time your innocence is taken away really young, and there's a lot of shame that comes with that. There's a lot of darkness, there's a cloudedness that comes with it, and there's almost this feeling of drowning. Like it's heavy, you're drowning in shame and guilt and all these different things that the reality is we didn't ask for, right? And one of the interesting things is I look a lot at how, as an adult, research shows that up to 97% of our daily actions were just on autopilot, and up to 90% of that was created before we were even 7. So we were a blank canvas that was being painted for us by other people, and most women don't change that as they're older. They just continue to operate out of that. So I thought it was really cool to be able to do a painting to illustrate that. But as you can see, it's very dark, it's black and white. There's very little color here in the woman, and she's protecting herself from the rain. And as I told you the other night, there's nothing more playful that I could imagine than a little kid in rain gear that's just stomping through the puddles. Like they don't even care that it's raining. They don't care if they're getting wet or muddy. And it's just that freeing thing, which is why she's looking into her reflection and she's seeing herself as that playful child. And as she's reaching down and connecting with that version of her, it's starting to bring the color back into her life as an adult. And that was really what resonated with me with Saprea. I got so much value out of the retreat, and I just saw so many other women as well going through that same thing. So that was my illustration of it.
I love it. It basically feels like their life wasn't full of any hope.
Yeah.
They felt these clouds all around them, and then because they started to see their worth, they began to feel that hope, and it begins to ripple out from that reflection. They began to see themselves as a person of worth, right? And then that translates into actually actions in their lives. So that's going to be so cool. This is a really great time at Younique where we're we're really trying to invigorate our mission. You know, we've had a great decade. The Younique Foundation changed to Saprea as a result of the founding of Younique, and the funds from Younique allowed it to be created. But we are not done giving and supporting, and I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing in the prisons. It was fun to talk to you a little bit about that. What would you tell someone that was considering a Saprea retreat but was a little nervous or unsure about whether they should do it?
Well, I think a lot of people have that apprehension going into that first step, but the first thing I would say is, oh my goodness, it was 5-star. Like from start to finish, I couldn't even believe it. They were so welcoming, the clinicians. I mean, it's run by women, for women. The only man there was the chef, which he was amazing and cooked the most incredible food. But it was just from start to finish, they put so much care into making us feel welcome, making us feel comfortable, because it is hard. And just, I mean, even Minky Couture donated blankets. We have so many things donated, and there was just so much care put into all the details. But one of the biggest things was, I've done many different kinds of retreats. I've done lots of work on trauma and healing and things like that. But this was the first time where we all had that common thread. And throughout my entire experience there for the 4 days, there was 15 of us, and it wasn't cliquey at all. I could sit down at any point and have a really meaningful, in-depth conversation with one of the women there. And it was just so freeing to be able to realize that we all had that in common, so we could take down our walls and actually connect. Because a lot of the time, even when you are healing or at different things, and maybe we all have gone through things, but it's not that similar thing, which is still affecting us today. Sometimes they don't necessarily understand what you're going through, but as the other women were sharing their stories and vice versa, like we just kept hearing ourselves in each other, and things were brought to light that I didn't even realize. And it's just that in itself was so healing. But I made friends for life there, and it was
so
great.
You're still in touch with
I am,
a number of women there. That's so awesome.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You know, the ages ranged from, I think there was an 18-year-old, and then there was a woman almost 70 there, and just everything in between. And we had fun together, we laughed together, cried together, healed together, learned together, ate together, and did lots of fun activities. And it was just an amazing experience, and I couldn't even believe it was free. Like, I was just mind blown.
That's cool. Yeah, it's never too late to find healing, right? And whenever someone gets to that point, you're happy for them, right?
Yeah.
So I have one other just curious question. So as an artist, where did that come in your journey? Did you, like in your adult life, did you begin to do art, or how did you begin to use art to kind of express yourself?
Yeah, so art actually has always been a part of my journey, and it's been a massive piece in my healing journey. In fact, art therapy is something that has really helped me connect to my trauma, because I couldn't always put it into words. But it's interesting because my self-concept, or how I see myself, and self-esteem was never really strong enough to actually put myself out there as an artist. And that's been something that's been a lot more recent as I've continued to heal and grow, where I've seen my paintings go to multiple different families. But one of the coolest things that I've found is, because of my story, because of the things that I've gone through, one of the niches that I've really found, and I've found so much passion in, is doing actually memorial pieces for people.
Oh, wow.
And creating this healing experience for other families. So I've done a few of those this past year, and it's just been amazing to where I can bring it all together. But art has been a part of my journey since I was a child. Fitness, art, and education have been three things that I've always really leaned into to grow and evolve out of my situation. And as an adult, it's been cool to actually be able to get paid for it and to see other people value it as well.
Yeah, probably your sense of worth as a person was a part of your journey through being a survivor, but then also through your artwork, you've been able to express that and see your value and your talent, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a treasured piece for many years to come here at Younique, and you know, as we cross paths, if you guys are still here, and if you're working in the Utah Prison Program for Saprea.
Yeah, I'm going there today.
Awesome. So this will be just an opportunity for us to just continue to maintain these connections as we continue to support this great cause. So I am so excited that you came. I'm so excited to have this beautiful painting hand delivered. I was trying to figure out the other night how to fit it in my car, and it was so great that we actually got to spend a little bit more time together. So
and
thank you.
I really couldn't imagine a better home for it. Like you said the other night, to really connect what you guys are doing here to why you're doing it. So I appreciate you guys very much, and I appreciate you for taking this piece.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.